Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk again about crystals. I've just made some videos that I've been putting out over the last few days about crystals, about their uses, various crystals, good ones for protection and things like that. And I've got loads of other videos about crystals and the magic of crystals in my crystals playlist, which I will link below in the descriptions box. But today we're talking about my 5 best ways of cleansing, clearing your crystals of any energy that you feel they might need to get rid of, basically. But how do we know? How do we know if there's any energy trapped in the crystal that they might need to get rid of? I usually say around about every month I like to have a cleansing and clearing session of my crystals, which is quite a large collection these days. I do have quite a lot, so it can take quite a bit of time. So it's good to have various ways of being able to cleanse them. So that's why I thought today, you know what, I'm going to show you my 5 favorite ways to cleanse and work with my crystals. So sometimes intuitively we might feel that we're not really getting much from the crystal. So there's a reason for that. 2 reasons for that. 1, you've received what you need to receive from that crystal and it's served its purpose. When it gets to that point, sometimes it's good to just gift it to somebody else that might need it. 2, the other reason why you might not be feeling as much is because it just needs cleansing. It might just need to be shifted. It might just need it's a bit like us, you know, sometimes we go through these peaks and troughs where we're on 1 minute we're feeling really, really good, and then we start feeling really, really sluggish, and it's all to do with energy, because everything is energy basically. And you find that when you've got more sunlight, when you move your body more, when you meditate more, when you take care of yourself and have a bit more self-care within your week, you actually start to feel better. Crystals are exactly the same. You need to treat them the same as you would treat yourself. So you don't want to just leave them in a drawer and forget about them. You need to come to an understanding that these are living energetic things that are there for a purpose. They're there to help you, or once they've helped you, you can then gift them onto somebody else. And that act of giving is you're giving something away to somebody, and the universe will then repay you in kind for what you've given away. And it doesn't matter about how big or what it is, you know, it's just that act of just giving something away for free without ego, just to help. So today, my 5 ways that I prefer to use for cleansing my crystals. So number 1, very simple, incense. So this incense I've got here is myrrh. I like either a combination. If I can get it, I can get frankincense and myrrh. They both have wonderful fragrances, and they both have a really good vibration. They seem to lift the room, you know. And frankincense and myrrh have been used for a long time. There's a reason for that, you know. So look into the ancient scripts, ancient texts. Look at the Bible. You know, the story of Christmas. Those 3 wise men brought gold, frankincense, and myrrh. It's no coincidence that these men were wise, and that's what they were bringing. Frankincense, myrrh, and gold all have extremely powerful healing properties. So frankincense and myrrh have a really high vibrational property to them, and that's why it's really good to use them. If you don't have frankincense and myrrh, and you can't get any of that, then any other incense really that you like, that you resonate with, is fine. But I prefer to use them. I also like to use lemongrass, or I'll use sweetgrass as an incense, or a Palo Santo incense, or Palo Santo itself if you can get it. But Palo Santo these days tends to be quite expensive because, you know, it's an endangered species and it's protected, and usually when you do get it, you need to make sure that it is coming from sustainable sources rather than just being, you know, chopped down, because we need Palo Santo. And it's not just us that needs it, it's the actual indigenous people that have used it for thousands of years. They're the ones that found it, and they're the ones that are aware of its power and its beauty. So it's them that needs it rather than us. So that's number 1 for me, is incense. Number 2 for me is sage, or Palo Santo if you can get it. Sage tends to be a little bit more accessible these days. Again, sage, Californian white sage, again is an endangered species of plant, so you have to be careful with that as well. So we have to be really, really careful. But there are other things you can use besides sage. So if you're being a little bit sort of eco-friendly and you're falling more into your Wiccan ways and you're being more appreciative of nature and everything that comes from nature, then you can also use rosemary, you can use lavender, you can use sweetgrass. So if you can get any of them as well, they're also really good for burning and for using. You can also get charcoal discs, which you can put in a burn-proof dish, and then put the actual pure incense oil with the resin, put that on top, and that will create the smoke, and that will help to clear them as well. And you can usually get the resin in different flavors, different scents. But again, if you can get it in frankincense or myrrh or a mixture of the two, even better. What my number 2 is sage. Number 3 is an extremely powerful, beautiful crystal. And a lot of people think, well, how can you cleanse crystals with crystals? But again, this is all knowledge and wisdom that's been used for thousands of years. But I like to use selenite. So this is a selenite wand, but you can also get selenite bowls that are actually designed for you to put your crystals in. That's how I store mine. And after each session, distance treatment, they go back into the bowl. And that's where they stay until I decide to go and put them in the next one, which would be number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, number 4. So number 4 for me, after the selenite, I'll go back into the selenite and explain a little bit about how it works and how it can help. But number 4 for me is sunlight. A lot of people like to also use the moon, but for me, being the man, being male, being masculine, I like the sun. I also sometimes work with the moon. I do like the moon energy occasionally, but it does have that effect with me where it makes me feel a little bit scatterbrained. It sends me a little bit doolally, and it disturbs my sleep. So I think, well, if it's having, it obviously it's pulling. That's what the moon does. It pulls stuff out. It pulls stuff out of you that needs to be healed, and that's why people's shadow starts to be lifted when a full moon comes, and it has a healing effect. So it has exactly the same for crystals, but the sunlight as well is extremely powerful. It's really, really good for us. We get so much from the sun, vitamin D, and it's really good for the skin and your mood and your well-being. So crystals, exactly the same. They lap it up. They absolutely love it up. One of the crystals that I would be extremely cautious with regards to the sun, actually a couple of them, would be a clear quartz, because clear quartz gets used as laser beams or in laser beams technology. So when the sun shines in it, sometimes it can bing and send a laser beam out the other side. So do be careful, because it has been known for them to cause or start fires or burn something from the sun. So just be careful with that and be mindful of that. Also, crystals that like amethyst that come from a quartz that have that colour that's almost like a pigmentation that's within them. Citrine, amethyst, anything, lemon quartz, anything like that. If you put it in the sun, don't put it in for too long, because the colour will fade. The sun does tend to fade the colour a little bit, and maybe that's why a lot of people like to use the moonlight rather than the sunlight. But that's number 4 for me, is sunlight. Number 3, going back to the selenite. Selenite is really good just to have the crystals near some selenite, have them touching the selenite, have them in a bowl. You can get little plates of selenite where you can actually sit your crystals across. Selenite is a great purifier and great cleanser of negative energy, and it just clears, cleanses, purifies. Just look at that colour. It's almost angelic in itself. It's beautiful. And again, you don't need to it's a bit like the Tektite. You don't need to cleanse selenite. It's self-cleansing. It takes care of itself. The only thing you have to be really, really careful with regards to selenite is water. Don't put it in water. And there are some other crystals that you can't put in water. So do your research on that, because it does ruin them and it does damage them. And 5th and finally, probably the best way I like to work with crystals and cleanse them is by using Reiki or using my hands. Before I was attuned to Reiki, I used to just sit with them. I used to just hold them in my hands and I used to feel them, I used to see them, I used to see what they could do for me when I was working with them individually. But they give you great messages, you get a great feeling from them, and that tends to be what they will do for you. So if you're aware of your dominant hand, most people their dominant hand will be the right hand, but it's not always. My right hand is my dominant hand, but that's the hand that I use. But again, it's not always that one. But if you hold it in that hand and just sit with it and just give it a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes, and just be aware of the feelings that you get, and be aware of anything that you might see in your mind's eye, be aware of any information that might be coming in with regards to the crystal. Just be aware of your overall being, of what you feel externally and internally, because they have an effect on everything within your aura and within your mind, body and spirit as well. But yeah, that's my go-to. That's my top 5 go-to. If there was one that I had to pick out of all of them, it would be the sun. It would be the sunlight, and I would just line them up on the windowsill, ready for the sun to just shine in and just do its work, and just leave them there for a few hours, and then they will lap it up. Done. Job's a good one. Bob's your uncle. Fanny's your aunt. So there we go. I hope this video has been informative. I hope you've enjoyed these few videos that I've made recently with regards to crystals, with regards to their uses and their power. And I'll see you in the next video, so do take care of yourselves. If you enjoy these videos and find them entertaining or informative or whatever you get from them, give me a bing. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Much love, take care, namaste, bye for now.